Hey everyone, welcome back to Pop Incursions. I'm Nico, and today I'm going to be unboxing my Funko Pop order, which includes some Comic-Con exclusives. So I have to say I'm very excited about these pops, and I was excited as soon as they were announced, and I got them as soon as they became available on the Funko Europe website. I had to do the whole queuing, but it was worth it, and they arrived in less than a week, which is pretty good, so props to Funko Europe for that. So now let's finally unbox my haul. And by the way, I'm so impressed with Funko Europe for their packaging. Very, very well done. So we have the first one. What's it gonna be? Oh yes, yes, yes. So we have Frost Giant Loki from the Infinity Saga. I love this one. We then have Mighty Thor from Thor Love Thunder. I think I've already said this, but this isn't just SDCC. I also bought other pops. So they're the other pops because I didn't have a Mighty Thor. And I obviously have to have a Mighty Thor if I'm going to have any other Love and Thor pop. And Loki as a frost giant holding the casket of winters, have to have that one. So this one is the big one. Here we go, SDCC Funko Pops from Thor Love and Thunder. So first I'll show you Love, or Gorr's daughter, and this is the one I've been so excited for Thor when he's in Omnipotent City and Zeus flicks too hard. Now let's get some up-close reviews. So here are the 4 pops in my haul, 2 of which are the SDCC Summer Convention limited edition for this year, the Thor and Love. I really don't understand why they didn't just put her name, considering she has a name, instead of Gorr's daughter. Mighty Thor, and I'm very excited about this one as well, Frost Giant Loki from Infinity Saga. And I am really happy that they are still making Infinity Saga pops because there's so many good ones. So I will start with the limited editions from SDCC, and then I will look at Frost Giant Loki and Mighty Thor. Now this one does come with a stand, and it was actually very difficult to get this on the stand. There you have a good look. This pop, I have to say, is a really, really good pop. And I know that a lot of people were disappointed that we were getting more Love and Thunder pops, but this is a good one. And this was one that I know so many of us wish they made. So thank you to Funko for actually listening to those of us who wanted more. Despite people's opinions of Thor Love and Thunder, I have to say some of the looks, especially Thor's, were great in this film. We had the Ravager Thor, we then had Thor in his blue armor, and we got a moment where he had his helmet on, which we haven't really seen that since the first Thor movie. And obviously we have this lovely look as well. And this pop is really well done. Even though obviously he is covered up, they really put the effort in to define those muscular features, his body. You can see that there is a 6-pack and muscles there. And I heard some people actually calling for an actual naked Thor. Like, they saw that they announced this pop and then they said, oh, well, why don't they just blur out the bits? And honestly, I actually prefer it with this because the gown brings it together. And if I try to imagine a naked one with blurred out bits, it would look quite bland, I think. So the gown and the lightning gives a bit of colour, gives a bit of texture. One thing I do love so much about Thor Pops is that they include the braids and the details in the hair. It's not just all blonde straight hair, they include the braids. They included the tattoos from the movie on this pop, and I think that is genius, and it really shows attention to detail, and it's a really interesting and clever way to include detail in what would typically be a bland pop, because purely naked it would be all one color texture, but here they're putting in the detail which kind of compensates, and then boom. And I will actually read out to you what it says. So we can see it says R.I.P. Loki and a gravestone, a very little one. We then have Loki's helmet with the horns. To the left we have Norse runes, and to the right we have a crescent moon, and just below that crescent moon is a scroll of paper. On the script it reads Mother, Father, but it's spelled F-A-T-H-O-R, so Fa, Thor, Father, for father obviously. Heimdall, Natasha, Tony, Loki. So this is obviously the closest people that Thor has lost, and we know more than most other characters Thor has lost the most. And then we have a broken heart, and then the very furthest to the bottom we have a banner reading Rest in Mischief. Obviously a big nod to the fact that Loki is the Asgardian god of mischief. And now let's have a look at Love, or as they say, Gorr's daughter. Here we have Gorr's daughter, Love, holding Stormbreaker, and it's in a very, very similar pose to the other Thor pop that was made, the 1040, that was him in his new blue armor. And obviously this pop is depicting the moment at the end of the movie where Love and her Uncle Thor go protect the nice aliens from the bad aliens. And I'm really, really intrigued to see Love's journey in the MCU. If you have watched Thor Love and Thunder, and if you read the comics, you'll know that the fact that Love was resuscitated, reincarnated, revived from eternity definitely means she has some cosmic power. This could be the MCU's version of, obviously, what am I going to say? The Young Avengers, because we've seen a lot of kids recently in phase 4 and 5. So there we have Gorr's daughter. So here we have the Infinity Saga Frost Giant Loki, and we are seeing more and more of these pops that are just named Infinity Saga, but I am very grateful because there's a lot in the Infinity Saga that Funko can take from, and this is one of the best. Loki from Thor 1, holding the Casket of Winters. Now, the one thing that did irk me though, on the Funko website, they describe it as him holding the Tesseract, which is obviously incorrect. First of all, it wouldn't make him blue, but it also doesn't look like that. This is the Casket of Winters, the source of the Jotunheim Frost Giant's power. It also says that he glows in the dark. Now, I don't know about anyone else, but every time I get a glow in the dark pop, I never see them glow in the dark. I don't know if it's because it's not dark enough, but even at night, none of them stand out. Let's test that theory. I'm going to begin to darken the room. Although I will say, actually, the Casket of Winters does look a little bit more distinct. but to my naked eye, yeah. So, do you know what? I'm gonna take that back. The casket does glow in the dark a little bit, but I mean a very, very little bit. Here we have Loki as a frost giant holding the casket of winters. I really love this pop. As I've said before, it harkens back to the first Thor movie, and I love the attention to detail in the outfit. We don't actually get much of Loki in his classic green color anymore since he's, you know, arrived at the TVA, but I love this look for so many different reasons. You know, the blue face, the markings, the casket, the outfit, the way they did the hair. It's just, I love it. And this, believe it or not, is my first Loki pop. My very first Loki pop in my collection. Yeah, and it's actually quite fitting when you think about it, to think that the first Loki I get is from the first Thor. So it's the true Loki. So that's the Loki. Here we have Mighty Thor. Now, I know that this is not from the SDCC, nor is it like ultimately special like the Frost Giant Loki, but this came in my order, so I'm going to review it. Do stay tuned for more, because I am going to be reviewing the rest of my Thor Love Thunder collection, which includes the goat boat, which will be the next thing that you see kind of Thor wise. I personally was never a huge fan of Jane in the Thor films. So here we have Mighty Thor. Let me know in the comments below if any of you have a Mighty Thor that also slants a little bit, because it is a bit of an issue. So let me know in the comments below if you've experienced that in this pop. However, back to the review. I have to say, I am really, really loving the look that they did for Mighty Thor. The fact they have the helmet, it's obviously a bit more feminized, and Mjolnir is back, but I love that they kept, you know, kind of the jagged pieces that are now obviously bound by magic. However, the one thing I do like that Taika Waititi did is actually go for Mighty Thor. Now, I know there's going to be a bunch of sexists not agreeing just because it's a woman. However, Mighty Thor was actually in the comics. It's also quite a deep story, the fact that Jane has cancer, and this isn't the first cancer we've seen in the MCU, and that is actually going to really mean a lot to a lot of people out there, just as representation means a lot to a lot of people out there. And it's not just representing genders or nationalities, it's also representing journeys, disabilities, illnesses, and things like this is actually really important. And even though it may not touch some people and some people may not get it, it's going to mean a lot to the people that do get it, and it does give them some representation and hope, and makes them feel like they're being heard and acknowledged. There is another Mighty Thor out there that is holding Mjolnir, and Mjolnir lifts her up. And there's also a Captain America like that, because Captain America did the same in Endgame with Mjolnir, and both of those pops look amazing, and I really, really can't wait to get them at some stage. So there we have it, everyone. The Thor and Love, Gorr's daughter from SDCC, and the Infinity Saga, Frost Giant Loki, and Mighty Thor, or Jane Foster. I have to say, I am more than thrilled to have these in my collection. I'm a big Thor fan, and I really like these pops. They're really detailed. Even on first glance it may not look like they're very detailed, but they are. And to make a semi-naked pop detailed says a lot, but it's the little details, the musculature, the braids in the hair, the lightning, the robe, and the tattoos that we can actually read, well, depending on your eyesight. Then we have Gorr's daughter Love with her facial markings jumping up in the air. Also a braid or two as homage to Uncle Thor holding Stormbreaker. Then we have Loki in his semi-Frost Giant form, Blue holding the Casket of Winters, and Jane Foster as Mighty Thor with the broken but now repurposed Mjolnir. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making it. I hope that you also let me know in the comments below what you thought of this year's Funko Pops from Comic-Con, as well as letting me know what pops you would suggest me getting to review and add to my collection. Make sure that you like the video and click that subscribe button so you don't miss future videos. I'm Nico for Pop Incursions, and see you next time.